Welcome students to the third lecture of chapter 8, the advanced microprocessors, the 80286, 80386, 80486 microprocessors. So these are the syllabus contents. So already we started with the introduction to 80286 where we have seen memory management concept and features of 80286. Next again we have covered internal architecture of 80286. So within that again we covered 4 units of 80286. Now the remaining points are real address mode operation, protected virtual address mode, 80386 architecture and 80486 architecture. So this figure stands for the memory management where we have seen the concept of swapping in and swapping out, segments and virtual memory concepts. So these concepts are the backbone of advanced microprocessors. Next, these are the features of 80286. Register organization. In case of architecture of 80286, the register organization is same, almost same as that of the 8086. General purpose registers, segment registers, offset registers and status and control word. So again we have seen the flag register of 80286 and machine status word, and again the 4 units of 80286. So how the pipelining concept increase the speed of 80286, that we have seen through this figure. And next the complete architecture figure, which is divided into 4 sections. Address unit, which is responsible for calculating the physical address. Bus unit, responsible for fetching the instructions and fetching the data and for the communicating the other processors or other co-processors. Instruction unit, where we are maintaining the 3 decoded instruction queue and reading the instruction which are prefetched into instruction queue. Next, execution unit, actually responsible for executing the instructions, where we have seen there are multiple registers are there which are used in order to store the operands and intermediate results and final results as well. And now we are moving towards the next part, that is a pin diagram of 80286. So here we can see that this figure contains total 68 pins into the 80286. So total there are 68 pins covered in this. So here we can see the major difference between 8086 and 80286 is that here data and address bus is not multiplexed. Data bus is separate and address bus is separate. So that is the main difference we can see here. And now we are moving towards the signal description of this 80286. So let us see one by one all the signals of 80286. So the first clock, this is a system clock input on which basis my frequency of the processor depends. So here this is a 50% duty cycle. It means clock frequency applied at this pin get divided by 2 for deriving the fundamental timings of basic operations of circuit. And here we can use the clock generator 82284. Just like for the 8086 we are using 8284. So this is the advanced microprocessor, that's why we are using the clock generator 82284. Next there are 16-bit address bus D0 to D15. Next 24-bit address lines, that is A0 to A23. So these are the physical address output lines used to address memory or IO devices. So the address lines used for the IO data transfer, IO address selection is A0 to A15. It means only 16 bits are available for the IO transfer. A16 to A23 are not available for the IO transfer. Next BHE, this is the output signal, stands for the bus high enable, indicates that there is a transfer on higher byte of the data bus, that is a higher byte. 16 bit stands for the 2 bytes, so it means we are transferring data through the higher byte also, D8 to D15. Next S0 and S1, so these are the active low status output signals which indicate initiation of a bus cycle with memory or IO and quad INTO. So they define the type of bus cycle. So these two pins combination selects which type of the bus cycle right now is going on. So M/IO This is the output light differentiate between whether memory operation is going on or IO operation is going on. If this signal is 0, indicates that right now any IO cycle or INTA cycle is going on, that is interrupt acknowledgement. Or if it is 1, it means right now memory operation is going on. And here the other possibility is that halt can be also there, that is halt cycle where processor is in hang mode for the some time. In that case also this can be 1. So next pin, the new pin, we here see that quad or INTA. So this is an output signal in combination with M/IO bar signal and S1 and S0 distinguishes which memory or which cycle is going on. So here whether memory operation is going on, whether IO or interrupt acknowledgement, that can be differentiated by this pin. Next, lock pin. So again this is a pin which already we have studied in case of 8086. So this is active low output pin used to prevent other masters from gaining the control of bus for the current and following bus cycle. So it means lock bar pin is 0. It means during that period the control cannot be transferred to some another bus master. So here right now 80286 will always act as a bus master unless and until this pin is low. Next, ready. In order to synchronize with the slower processors, this pin is used. So this is again active low input pin used to insert wait states if slower processor had not completed their previous operation yet. So this ready pin indicates that they are not ready. So this will insert the wait states into their bus cycle, will make microprocessor will prevent microprocessor from going to the next operation. Next, hold and HDA used in case of direct memory access or passing the control bus control to some another processor and getting back the control. Next, INTR interrupt request, where some device is requesting for the service. In that case this pin can be used. So through this active high input, an external device request 80286 to suspend the current instruction execution and serve the interrupt request. So this is exactly similar as the other interrupts which we already studied in case of 8086. The pin same as that of 8086. Next, NMI, well known as non-maskable interrupt request. This is again an active high, age triggered, and input is equivalent to the INTR signal of type 2. So here in this case no acknowledgement is required. INTA bar, this is always used as a response for the INTR, because here device wanted to know whether their request is going to process or not. But in case of NMI, this is must, that is it is a non-maskable, we cannot avoid that. So in that case processing that interrupt becomes mandatory. So here there is no need of any acknowledgement whether this event is this interrupt is going to handle or not. That's why there is no any acknowledgement signal. Always microprocessors handles this interrupt. So the new pins here we are going to learn is PEREQ stands for the processor request and PEACK stands for the processor acknowledgement. So P stands for the processor extension request and acknowledgement. So here extension, it means that here some processor is going to work with the 8086. Just like in case of 8086 we have seen that minimum and maximum mode, that is uniprocessor and multiprocessor mode of operation. The same way, if any other processor want to work with the 8086, then these pins can be used. Processor extension refers to coprocessor, that just like we are having 8087 as a coprocessor along with the 8086. Similarly for the 8086 286 there can be 80287, that is a math coprocessor which want to work with the 80286. So this pair of pins extends memory management and protection capabilities of 80286 to the processor extension. That is, it means these pins are used in order to indicate that yes, some other processor is also going to work with the 80286. The PEREQ, that is processor extension request, input requests the 80286 to perform data operand transfer for a processor extension, and PACK, that is processor extension acknowledgement, active low output indicates to the processor extension that the request operand is being transferred. It means allowance of the attachment or allowance of allowing that processor to work. Next, busy and error. So processor extension, busy and error, uh, active low input signals indicate that operating conditions of processor extension to the 80286, that any coprocessor or any peripheral is attached, and these two pins are used in order to synchronize or work with them. So these are used as a signals for operating with them. If busy goes low, that indicating that 80286 to suspend execution unit and wait until the busy becomes inactive. So here this is same as test bar in case of 8086, where we are testing whether 8087 has completed the previous operation. In case of 8086, the same. If other coprocessor is busy, so this will wait, that is it will wait for this getting high. So that is processor is right, coprocessor is busy and current processor 80286 cannot give next operation to this. So in this duration the processor extension is busy with its allotted job, and once the job is complete, the other coprocessor drives busy input high, indicating that 80286 to continue with the processor program execution. An active error signal causes 80286 to perform processor extension interrupt. It means during that case it will fire an interrupt while executing the wait and escape instructions. So here escape instruction, this is used as a prefix for the instructions of coprocessors. So active error signal indicates to 80286 that processor extension has committed a mistake, and hence it is reactivating the processor extension interrupt. Next, CAP stands for the capacity. So a 0.0 microfarad 12 volt capacitor must be connected between this input pin and ground to the filter output of the internal substrate bias generator. So here capacitor is used for the operating voltage. That's why till the capacitor charges to its full capacity may be kept stuck to reset to avoid any spurious activity. So this is a capacitor which holds some charges for the operating of 80286. VSS system ground pin of 80286. VCC used to supply plus 5 power volt supply. So here we have seen almost all pins of 80286. So here main part is regarding, or new part is regarding these pins. Processor request. So in the figure these got repeated: busy, error, and processor extension request and acknowledgement. Sorry for this. So here total 68 pins are there, and in the explanation we have covered this. So I hope you understand with this. Next, real addressing mode operation. Real addressing mode, so here this figure is same as that of physical address calculation of 8086. That here we are having all segment registers with 16 bits, offset registers with 16 bit. Now here we are multiplying the 16 bit value with the 0, that is the hexadecimal value. It means this will add the 4 bits to the LSB, making complete address of 20 bits, and whatever offset value of 16 bit is there, that is added from the LSB. So this is how the physical address of 8086 is calculated. In the same way, the physical address of 80286 in real addressing mode is calculated. So real addressing mode of 80286 is exactly same as that of 8086 working. same properties as that of 8086. So act as fast as 8086. Instruction set is upward compatible. It means all the instructions of 8086 we can apply to 80286, and it can address only 1 MB of physical memory using A0 to A19. So here this means that here the higher bit lines A20 to A23 are at all not used in case of real addressing mode operation. So real addressing mode operation of 80286 is just acts as the fast as 8086.